Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 488. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
and Brian Manjoma.
What's up? What's up?
All right, we're back with another one. Diminished cast. Richard is out in LA for Summer Game Fest. Carlos is still in Seattle. Brett is a free spirit. He goes where he wants. I think that's everyone accounted for who's not here. So, due to some weird technical difficulties, the show's going to be like in less than an hour. We had to jump on Google Meet tonight because Manny was having some issues, and apparently got to pay for more than an hour on Google. What the fuck, you know?
What's that all about?
Who knows? But to be honest, this week nothing happened really, so we should get through this pretty quick. I think this is the calm before the storm because Summer Game Fest is tomorrow. I'm still debating whether we should do a live stream of the show tomorrow or not. I'll be home, We'll see. Anyway, let's get into it, man. We're not gonna do we're not gonna run through these too fast. We still got an hour, so we should fill it up. Again, not that much exciting stuff happened, so we'll go through some stuff. But if there's anything you guys want us to talk about during the, anything you want us to discuss, just throw it into the chat here, And many have to say the overlay stuff works really good on Google too. Works perfectly. So we're all good there. All right, man.
At least they won't be able to tell from that end, right?
Not really. It looks pretty good. You got to pay for Google Doc. Can you believe that shit? For Google Premium, like Google Premium Go or some shit. I'm like, I already pay for the regular YouTube Premium, but that's Google, same company but different, whatever. Anyway, so first thing here is Dragon Age Dreadwolf now has a new name. So Bioware on their blog post, they this whole spiel, but now it's called the Veil Guard. One thing that I found interesting was that they were really hammering the part home that's like everything you loved about Dragon Age is still here. You still get to select your hero, you still got your companions, still got the big world, blah blah blah. So I wonder if that was just to reassure people that they might change too much, So we'll see. But the reason I really want to talk about this is because, again, I've said this a million times. I think if this game doesn't do well, this and Mass Effect, they don't do well, I think it's over for BioWare, man. You know how EA is. They will kill a studio just because, So we'll see how this goes. I don't know when we're going to get like an official like trailer or anything. Hopefully it'll be in-game, not some fucking, CG bullshit, which it probably will be because that's what we do nowadays. Yeah, so pretty good stuff, man. I don't know what the hell the Veil Guard is or whatever, but given some of the, let me just say, proclivities of modern game developers, I'm still going to be a little bit cautious about this one, because some of that stuff started leaking into the last Dragon Age game. I'm not going to get into details, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, and this is before things went crazy in 2016. So we'll see. We'll see. Am I the only Brett? Now, am I the only one that plays Dragon Age around here? I know Brett played it, but I don't think among you guys here, I don't think you guys played it.
Nah, never had any interest in the Dragon's Age, as Brett calls it.
Yeah. The thing is, I didn't either until I played Mass Effect. I played Mass Effect. I'm like, I need another game like this, and people are like, hey, play Dragon Age. It has decisions too. Character. I'm like, okay, and it gave me that fix. Chris, did you ever play the Dragon Age games?
No, and Mass Effect scratched that itch for me. I never felt like I needed more. Maybe Andromeda would change my mind. Maybe I should try that and be like, all right. I wonder though. I wonder if I see what you're saying about modern gaming, and there was a lot of people poking fun at some of the people working at over at BioWare now, and I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I just keep my expectations low, except if it's coming from Japan or South Korea. Now I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait and see. Like Suicide Squad. I'm just gonna wait and see.
There's a rumor floating around. It's not confirmed, but I do want to talk about that. Um, Actually, since I don't think we're gonna have anything more to say about Dragon Age, Chris, I'm gonna jump right into it. Perfect segue. There's a rumor running around again, ultra unsubstantiated because it came from a YouTuber, right? But the reason I want to bring it up is because I have been saying this for a few months now, and if this is true, man, another one. So the rumor is that apparently, and okay, this part is factual. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, has cost WB Games $200 million, right? Cost them a lot, like in the red, 200 million, right?
Yeah.
They've lost that much. We know that there's DLCs coming and all this other stuff, but right now, and Brian, you can verify this. Like, there's probably less than 200 people playing this fucking game. So, this big plan they had for this to be the tentpole game. They said this themselves. The tentpole game for WB. Games bombing. So the rumor is that WB is considering shutting down Rocksteady. I would not be surprised.
No, absolutely
I would not
not.
be surprised. Go ahead, Chris.
I think that's a viable option. This game was such a disaster. They have I don't know what else they had in the works besides DLC and content support for this game. No one's playing it. It's lost. I mean, to lose $200 million on a video game is insane. I mean, this is like Disney level disaster for a film. So the budgets must have been outrageous, and yeah, I could see like that going up to like Zaslav. He loves axing things. He's trying to cut corners. He's trying to preserve Warner Brothers as it is. So if WB Games is losing like hundreds of millions of dollars, yeah, it's going to get up to like his level, and I could absolutely see that Rocksteady shutting down because Rocksteady isn't Rocksteady anymore. We talked about this before on the show. A lot of the key talent from there has left. They formed another studio. I mean, we see the results of Suicide Squad. I mean, you have any hope that if you just give them another project, that one will work out. I don't think so.
And this specific project, it's dead. All this stuff they're trying, I know they're trying to bring in Joker, quote unquote, Mr. Freeze, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're really just tripling down on this stuff. Okay, guys. Let's see how well that worked, And this is another example of, and I don't know if these developers have exactly said it, but these type of people love saying this stuff. Another example of like when you tell people, oh, you don't like it, don't buy it. You know what we say? Okay, we won't.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty simple. You tell me don't buy something, I'm not gonna buy it. Are they trying to like? Do they think reverse psychology is gonna work? People aren't that fucking dumb,
Yeah, and also people have to make smart decisions, especially these days. Got to make smart decisions with their money. If you tell people this isn't made for you, or if you don't like it, don't buy it. Guess what? They're not going to do that.
Yeah, or they will do that. They don't listen to you. Don't listen to you. Like, well, sure.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah, they're just gonna pass.
I remember the first time, at least the first main prominent time I saw this in gaming was with Battlefield. I forgot which 1940.
Was it 5?
Yeah, Battlefield 5. They literally said, "Oh, you don't like what we're doing? We don't like our revisionist history. Don't buy the game." People didn't buy the game, and then they wonder why people didn't buy the game. You told us not to buy the game. We're just listening to you, man.
Yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, with regard to Rocksteady, I'm not surprised. I've been saying this for a while now. And it's following a certain trend. I'm going to avoid saying the name of a certain consulting company, but right? Think about it, right? Forspoken, Luminous Studios, gone, right? Yeah. Saints Row, Volition, gone, right? Fucking, was it Avalanche now this week? They had a bunch of layoffs, right? They're still around, but, it's not looking good. And now Rocksteady potentially gone. I would not be surprised at all. This stuff that's going on right now, man, it is a Faustian pack. I would urge companies to be very careful. Yeah, you may be getting your funding, but if at least your studio being closed, maybe you should rethink things, bro.
That's weird.
Mean, it's a hard one because it's like you don't know what they're gonna like there's obviously that really nice check that's happening, and you don't know what's going to sometimes you're making that decision because you don't because of that. But it's like we've seen in almost every single situation like this. How long do these companies last before they get shuttered, and then they just pull the IP away from them?
Yeah. I'm gonna give a couple quick shout outs. Logic Wins in the house. Foolish Pupil. I like that name. And Kishak. He goes, "What up, fellas? What's the topic right now? We're talking about a rumor, which I will not be surprised if it comes true, that WB is considering closing down Rocksteady Studios. Again, the game Suicide Squad cost them 200. They lost $200 million because of this game. I would not be surprised at all. I would not be surprised at all. So we'll see. By the way, since a couple more guys are in the chat right now, we said this earlier. This week was kind of dry when it came to gaming news. Not a lot happened. I'm guessing because of Summer Game Fest is tomorrow. So I think that's when shit's gonna pick up. So if you want us to cover anything specifically that we're not gonna go over tonight, please let us know. Although we are on a slight time, even I could set up another Google Meet if I need to. We're on Google Meet. I'm not gonna get into it again. It's some bullshit, but we're on a timer, But what I could do is just have you wait a little bit in the chat, and I'll just set up another meet, or one of you guys that set up a meet and just have that ready,
We could possibly go back to Discord if need be.
Yeah, Manny, if your Discord is good, we'll jump back on that.
Well, yeah, what it was is that my girlfriend was adjusting our firewall and to its highest level, so essentially it doesn't let through video or conferencing or something. So that's pretty much what it was. So it was essentially our firewall just pushing me out, which is weird because when she did it, nothing happened. It didn't affect anything. I was on Discord all day with my job. So
so what we'll do is when this Google Meet's about to end, we'll just jump over to Discord. We just have that. Then we can quickly jump in and people can just hang out in the chat. Cool. All right, man. So that's what's going on there. Other stuff. Okay, this one's kind of funny. So you know how we were talking about how Naughty Dog is now basically the Last of Us studio. They don't even make Uncharted games anymore. Certainly don't make Jak and Daxter, and they don't do Way of the Warrior anymore. Let's see how many people get that. We're probably the only podcast. Us and Sega Lord X talking about fucking Way of the Warrior.
I will say this: theoretically, Way of the Warrior actually belongs to Microsoft. So if we want to get down to it, so what happened is it used to belong to Universal Games, and then they became a Vendi or something like that. That company was bought by Activision, and then Activision was bought by Microsoft. So theoretically, along with Crash Bandicoot, they also own Way of the Warrior as well.
That's funny. Foolish People goes, Where the Warrior still haunts my dreams, my man. No, it's just funny. Manny was over here for a couple of days, and we're watching some Sega Lord X videos, and he just, he did a video on the 3DO, and of course had to talk about Where the Warrior.
Find the way, noble challenger.
Man, we're the only ones talking about. Anyway, so Neil Druckmann, he was being interviewed by the LA Times because LA Times is known as a very reputable video game outlet. And he was just discussing shit about his studio, and he says he doesn't want them to be the Last of Us studio, and said that they are actively working on other games. But with game development being what it is, who knows when we're going to see these fucking things, I doubt there are any people in Naughty who want to go back to their old IP. I know, and that's, that could be a good thing and a bad thing, to be honest. Because I think Uncharted's probably run its course. In my opinion, I think The Last of Us has run its course. So come up with some new IPs, man. But he says that they do have other games in the works. But again, how long have we heard about this? Weren't they supposed to make like a space game? Where's that at? And aren't we getting a Last of Us Part 2 remaster or something? It's coming to PC. I know that. He is living off this fucking IP, bro. It's crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. This is what he says. We have multiple single player projects in the works at Naughty Dog. So, does that give you hope?
Man,
I don't know.
Not really.
They got lots of stuff. I mean, that's neither here nor there, to be honest.
Yeah. It's crazy. Brian, what do you think about your favorite game studio?
I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It's like they say that there are multiple projects in the works. Like, okay, but what are those projects? Mm-hmm. Because technically, a remaster is a project. So you could technically have a remaster of Last of Us 1 and 2 planned for PS6, and those could technically be two separate projects. So I don't know. Yeah, as you guys were saying, hopefully they do have something in works that does not get cancelled by Sony, like what they did with Factions. So anything is possible with that idea in mind, and hopefully they have something interesting planned. I would like them to do something slightly different rather than some sort of third-person action adventure title. Like, I don't know, maybe like an RPG or something.
Yeah. Blitz, what's going on, brother? He goes, The Last of Us 2 show is a project. No, it's not a single player project though. You can watch your other people. But yes. Those are technically projects. Kishak, I want to comment on this. He goes, I heard that The Last of Us 2 remaster is already done has been done for months already. They're just waiting for the season 2 to start. I could believe that. Because think about it. When the remake of part 1 came out, I always said, and people gave me shit about this, I always said, this game is a pure cash grab to coincide with the fucking TV show. Tell me it wasn't. That timing was too coincidental, Would people want an RPG by Naughty Dog? I want something new from Naughty Dog. How about that, Sure, RPG, let's fucking go, I'm down if it's good. Because that's the thing. I'll say this about Naughty Dog, because you guys know I was not a fan of The Last of Us 2. I thought the game had problems. Half the game had problems, specifically, if you know what I'm talking about. But the gameplay throughout it was fucking dope. Even during the Abby scenes. That's the other half I don't like, by the way. Fucking Abby. Trash character. But the gameplay was good. Fighting big monsters and shit, So I'm not questioning their prowess with the gameplay. But gameplay, for me, it's not the main thing. It's just a part of it. You need the story, you need the graphics. They handle the graphics well, too, but the story's been lacking, I'm sorry. I'm with Manny. Last of Us did not need a sequel. The first one, perfect fucking ending. Great. And here's, I talk all this shit. And yes, retrospectively, Last of Us Part 1 has been soured for me because of Part 2 and the fucking fans. But that was a great game. For me. It was a great game. Fantastic ending. Very ambiguous. I like that. And then we didn't need a sequel. It's fine. We could have just been on its own. And for now, people would still be talking about it. Like, yo, that game was dope. That ending, man. Did Ellie know? Did she know? What Joel did? Like, that shit is cool. And we had that answered. It's like, fine.
You had to talk. Yeah, you had that whole thing. You had a whole talking point. But then after that, once it got through, obviously you can't. Sony's not going to be the one that are like, oh no, we're just going to abandon it. We're going to let them work on something else. No, they're going to make a 2. There's going to be a 2.
You could.
Well,
go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, why not make it an anthology series? I mean, the world is a big place.
Yeah.
You could set another game somewhere else, the West Coast, Canada, Mexico. Who knows? Somebody else surviving. You got to have a whole other story, follow a whole other group of people. Like Joel and Ellie's story was over in the first one. Like Tony said, perfect ending. That's great. They go on and live their lives, and we don't know if she knows or whatever. You follow another group of people, and they got to survive some shit. Maybe they're on the ocean. Who knows? Like it would be interesting to be something different. But no, he had to go jack up that ending, explain what was going on, then kill Joel. Like fucking travesty.
Yeah, but yeah, so I agree with that report, Kishak. I can totally believe that. And as far as again, my concern is they say they have multiple single player projects in the works. But when are these going to be released? With the amount of time it takes, even just Naughty Dog to make a game, I don't know about that, bro. You know, yeah, maybe new characters wouldn't have done as well. But look at all those spin-offs of the fucking Walking Dead; those seem to do fine. You know, Chris, it's funny you brought up like, oh, maybe they'll have one in the water, just like Fear of the Walking Dead, right? You know,
Yeah, right.
that was a
Oh,
new
the
word.
nuke.
The nuke. You know, but yeah. So there you go, Neil Druckmann. All right. Okay, this one's just I brought this in because it's just funny to me, and I saw some of the guys in the chat talking about it. So Final Fantasy XIV came out on Xbox. Surprise, surprise. Flop. The biggest fucking MMORPG on Xbox. Flop. Nobody played that
Jesus.
shit. It wasn't even the top 400 best-selling games on a Microsoft store.
Damn.
I'm telling you, Xbox guys, man, they're living up to their reputation. I think Blitz said this in the chat, and I agree with him. Put guns in it might be a different story for Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, again, like that's I always say the biggest hurdle of the Xbox itself is the perceived perception of what Xbox is, and that goes back to the original players. The original players are looking for shooters.
Yeah, they want their shooters.
They want their shooters. So I'm like, and then we're also finding that even the shooters aren't even doing that well on it. So it's like, I mean, I almost feel like in general, like Microsoft probably needs to rebrand. Like maybe just move it away, and maybe that's what's in the future, right?
Maybe. I mean, we've discussed that before. And then something else somebody else brought up in the Discord chat, which I found very interesting. He says, because you still got to pay for Final Fantasy XIV, right? So the game's not on Game Pass, and you got to pay for it. And you could argue Xbox has trained its players to play games effectively for free. So that's another reason. I think there's some validity to that. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I do think so. Like Game Pass has definitely changed how people experience games. Like they expect to just receive AAA first party titles, and Microsoft's kind of spoiled them on that. So if they're not getting it, they're like, I'll pass, right? You're already paying your whatever a month. What is it, $12, $16? I don't know what it is now. But you're already paying your fee, right? So it's like, hey, I should be able to have this game. And then you don't get like, all right, I'll pass. Or I'll wait for it to go on sale or something, so people skip out.
Yeah, but even with that game, it's like you still got to pay monthly regardless. It's an MMO, old school type of MMO where you got to pay a monthly subscription. It's not free to play.
That's right.
So,
but isn't it having drop off in general?
It is, yeah. And remember, there was a time when I was the game. It's had a huge drop off in general. But on Xbox, again, we've seen this before. Remember with Xbox 360, right? We had Blue Dragon and what's the other one? The other Final Fantasy type of game. The other Nomura game. Anyway, these came out. RPGs for Xbox. Flop.
Wait till they put WoW on there.
Yeah.
See how that does.
Yeah. No, yeah. Imagine that. Again, Xbox players don't fuck with that type of stuff. And I kind of agree. And if Brett was here, he'd be fighting me on this. But I do think they have conditioned their players to just like, oh, what's it on Game Pass? Don't buy them fucking games. Very interesting. All right. Next up here, this is about Xbox. This one's very interesting to me, and this is not rumored. This is just verified off the trophies, or achievements. So 90% of Xbox players who started Hellblade 2 haven't finished it.
Damn, 90%.
90. Okay, just for
holy shit.
Yeah. Just for the sake of
6-hour game, by the way.
Okay, yes. Hold on. There's so many levels here, right? Okay, so where do I even start with this shit? Okay, 6-hour game. Dudes aren't finishing it, right? And then on top, okay, think about this. In general, most people, only 25% of people beat games, right? But that's all kinds of games, long games, short games, whatever, right? So even this looks crazy. So that's 70. So even if you take 75% of people don't finish games, this is 90% of Xbox, and it's an exclusive. What are you guys doing?
Oh man.
What are you guys doing over there? You know? I don't get it, man. Like you effectively have a free game for Xbox Game Pass. 7 hours. You could finish this off in an afternoon, man. Or not an afternoon,
yeah, in a day.
Afternoon / evening a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Why aren't you? And I heard, Manny, maybe you confirm this. The game's not that difficult.
No, it's not. It's not that difficult at all. I mean, it. To be honest, I feel like the first one was a little bit more challenging than this one was.
Yeah. This goes to show me, and I'm wondering, what is the completion rate of other Xbox games like that are on Game Pass? Do people just like torrents just nibble and move on? That's what it seems like.
I mean, Brett has said that he's nibbled.
Yeah, Brett is one of those guys. That's right.
So I mean, he's tried it out a little bit and then just moved on. So what does that? I mean, his thing, like nobody should say like anybody can play the way they want to play, but you're telling me that this supposed like cornerstone, quote unquote cornerstone game, nobody's gone past the beginning of the game. They only got to the beach part of it.
Yeah, that's amazing to me.
Which I will say that beach part is probably the worst portion of the game.
And people made that just drop off after that. Like, fuck.
I feel like you end up on like pretty good rail, like strict rails on that portion of the game. Senua can't walk very well. She's all slow and you're hobbling around. It feels like you're there forever. So I can kind of see why people might drop off. They're just like, what is this? Is this all I'm doing is going through holes and, going this way, just going this one direction. So I can see maybe why the drop off might have been that thing, because I would say the beginning of that game is not very compelling. But then also the other game, Senua's Sacrifice, that had a kind of tenuous intro too. But I feel like that world was a little bit more interesting than just being on a beach.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it is. People just play that intro like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, she's walking slow, it's just like, yeah, it was a difficult part. I almost said like, I don't know. But as I got further in the game, it got better.
I noticed that game has pretty much dropped off the radar.
Yes.
That's exclusive.
The first one had a lot more to it than this one did.
Yeah. Foolish People, I'll give you that link in a little bit. I don't know, it's troubling to me, man. There's some comments here I want to read. Is Kishak goes, it's Xbox full of users with attention span problems. I don't know if it's that, but I think they may have been, and I'm speaking in generality right now. I think some people have just been conditioned to not invest more time in games when you have so many options. Why should you just invest all your time in one game? I think that may be the mentality. Very different than the way, me, Manny, and Chris, and probably Brian think. Where it's like, we're going in on this game, But, you got guys like Brett, shout out to Brett, obviously, who, want to dabble. They he says he's eating good, but to me, I'm like, you're eating good off of nibbles. Is that a full meal? I don't know, man. Again, I'm probably not the best person to talk about this, just because I'm very skeptical of Xbox Game Pass, as Twitter would let you know, and fucking articles written about me and all that nonsense. When I unsubscribed. Shout out to Kotaku. Not really. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, so yeah, Game Pass. I think it's just fostered these type of players, man. But at the same time, we gotta, give Hellblade a little bit of shit, because hey, maybe you should have started the game a little faster. I don't know. Anyway, Chris, what's your thoughts on this, man?
On people dropping off Hellblade?
Yeah.
Not even finishing the game? I think, I don't know if it's a testament to to Xbox players' expectations not being met. Like that means these guys either got it off Game Pass or bought it, right? Couldn't invest the 6 hours. So either that's a problem with the game itself and the experience, or that it's just I don't know. I don't know if it's just them. Like it's just Xbox players expecting a different type of game and they didn't get it, so they're like, fuck this, and they walk away. I don't know what I can tell you. Maybe it's an acquired taste. Like maybe that's not the game they were expecting, so they just dropped off.
Yeah, maybe. Brian, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Chris here. Like maybe it is just that it wasn't to their liking, and they just thought, okay, you know what? No, not going to play this game, and dropped off. Which I think is, again, it's a fair point. If you don't enjoy a game, then I think it's fair enough to stop playing it. There's been a few games that I started playing, and then I just didn't like it, and then I stopped playing it. So it can happen. And I was looking at stats on Steam, and I'm guessing the end achievement is End the Tyranny, based on its name. So about 37% of people on Steam have that achievement. So that would be around 63% of people haven't completed the game.
That Brian, just for context again, that percentage, that completion percentage is higher than the average gamer. Isn't that interesting?
Slightly, I guess.
No, I mean, on average, 25% of people beat games. 37% of Steam users beat this game. Shows you who's more committed,
No,
unless I read that wrong.
Oh no, you read it right. I mean, interesting in the idea that it's not higher. That's kind of why I was like, it's higher than average, but the average is low in general, in my opinion. It should be like at least a good half of people, 40% of people finish games. Yeah. But no.
And he got it.
I ended the tyranny.
Yeah, there's the Chivo. Brian, I see again, because I live in a bubble. All my friends are gamers. I thought completion rate was like, is this how? I'm going to sound retarded when I say this. I thought completion rates were like 75%, but I forgot about normies, and I was like, I'm lowballing it too, because if I'm going to just base it off the, people in my personal circle, completion rate is like 99%. Like a game has to be terrible for motherfuckers not to finish it, But yeah, I don't know, man. New type of gamer, or Xbox gamer, because they Steam guys, man, they finished it. They finished it at a higher percent than most normal people. They're about that life. Isn't that interesting? Manny, what do you think about that? The fact that Steam players beat this game at a higher percentage than even normal, regular people,
Well, I mean, you gotta realize that in general, like most people who are into Steam and all that sort of stuff, they're more, into the gaming space in general.
Yeah.
That's why they're on Steam.
I want you to think about what you just said. And I'm going to paraphrase it, correct? Sorry if I butchered, but it sounded like to me. It sounded to me like you said, I'm simplifying the fuck out of it. It sounds to me like you said, Steam players are more hardcore gamers than Xbox players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many normies are really on? How many normies would you say are on Steam?
There's probably more on Xbox. I agree with you.
There are more on There are definitely more on Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox and a PlayStation are more general audience sort of deal.
Yeah.
You have something like Steam, where it's not. There's no. I mean, the easiest way to use Steam would be through the Steam Deck. Is probably the
easiest way, yeah.
Probably the most consumer friendly way to use Steam.
And even then, Manny, who buys a Steam Deck? Hardcore guys who go to the Steam store.
Hardcore guys,
you can't buy it at Best Buy. It's not like that.
You can't buy it you can't buy it at a general store. You have to buy it through Steam. So, so through Valve. So it's like it's still more of a it's more for an enthusiast than an actual person than a person that's just a generalist.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Who's just looking to have the box play underneath their television.
Yeah, no, you're right. Kishak goes, I think it's because Steam players spent money on the game, so they're more committed. I mean, that's a factor.
There is also that too. You can guarantee that the 60, well, how many percent of it? The 60% of those people, all those people that have played it on there, they all paid for it.
Yeah, it was 37% that beat it, but that's still higher than most the normal gaming landscape.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Foolish Pupil, he goes, totally agree on that. I have had Game Pass for a year or more now, and the amount of games that don't get played at all, let alone get finished, is crazy low. Yeah, because you're not incentivized to finish your games. It's just, try it, see if you like it.
I mean,
to the next thing.
I mean, when I had it for about a year, and all the game, I mostly just played the first party stuff, but I played to finish them. So I played Hi-Fi Rush. I played it all the way through and finished it. So
yeah, I had Game Pass I gave them free money for years almost. And yeah, I never nibbled. I'm not that type of gamer. When I played the only game I did, and it was a nibble, it was because I dropped it because I didn't like it. It was called it started with an A. It was like some top-down cyberpunk game. And I liked the aesthetics, but the game I just didn't like at all.
The only game that I nibbled on there, the only game that I nibbled on there was Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. I played a little bit, I didn't like it, and I just stopped playing.
Yeah, it happens, man. I don't know if it was on. It must have been on Game Pass. I would not have paid for this horse shit game. Hades, that was on Game Pass, right? That was some nibble too. I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit. This game is trash. I don't like those type of games, man. That's what it is. All right, moving on here. This one's funny. You guys remember whoever bought Manny, you probably still have this shit. Your PS5 box. Everybody bought a PS5 box. It says 8K gold too. Built for 8K. Apparently, they've quietly dropped that from the box now.
I have the Call of Duty one, so I could theoretically check live on the show and see.
Let's do it. Let's do this.
All right, I'll be right back.
8K, really?
Yeah, but I remember when I first bought, and I think I did an unboxing too. I must have unboxing video. As a sequel to my PS4 unboxing video, La Caja, and I was like, 8K, fuck is this? What supports 8K now? Like, very, very few things. I'm assuming there's 8K televisions. Who's buying those? So I always thought that was a little bit silly, and especially where it's like, you could barely get games running at 4K 60. You're going to be playing at fucking 8K. So I always found that hard. There it is. Look at it in fucking gold. There it is, right there. 8K.
Mine still says it, and mine was bought 6 months ago.
Hold on. Let me make you bigger. Look at this shit. Oh wait, we're on fucking. God damn it. Never mind. I thought we're on Discord.
So yeah. So. Oh, by the way, does anybody want to?
Man, put that closer, man, so people see that 8K. Look at this shit, 8K. Bullshit. What's up?
By the way, does anybody want a code for Modern Warfare 3?
No, thanks.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, Brian, what do you think of this whole 8K nonsense?
It's just questions and questions. Firstly, again, as Tony said, so what media was there that was supporting 8K, or was it just the console having the ability to output at 8K? And then the next question is, why did they take it off? Was it like a lawsuit at some point that someone said, oh yeah, it doesn't do 8K, or
anybody could have told you the damn thing doesn't do 8K.
Yeah,
like it could barely do 4K.
Yeah. And remember, we're saying this now in 2024. This was in 2020. It was bullshit back then too.
Yeah,
it's like 4 years later, things haven't changed. We're not suddenly awash in 8K media.
Maybe I mean, like, what is it? Like the ultra HD Blu-rays. Those aren't even in 8K yet, are they?
4K.
They're still 4K. Yeah. So yeah, My guess is that it's probably capable of putting out an 8K signal, but it can't run any game at 8K.
Yeah. Some of the guys in the chat are saying something very interesting. They're saying, theorizing even, that perhaps they're saving that 8K label for the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, I did hear that, and I honestly have no idea what to make of that. But
that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
but everything we just said still holds true. What 8K media is out there?
Yeah, what 8K media is out there? Well, I mean, here's the thing: like they're saying, there's the rumors that the new PlayStation has some sort of upscaling tech inside of it, right?
I heard about
that.
Yeah.
Oh, the remastering engine?
No, not the remastering engine. That's a different thing. But it has some sort of upscaling thing that's fairly similar to DLSS, but Sony's version of it. And maybe that's
I heard about the PlayStation, like SS or whatever. Yeah. I think it's literally called that PlayStation Super Sampling.
Yeah, it's some sort of allows it to do like 4K and all that sort of stuff. At 4K and then run it at a lower resolution.
Yeah, but again, 8K, that's retarded. I'm sorry. So yeah, they apparently quietly dropped it from the boxes. So we'll see.
And my PlayStation is a new one. Mine's a slim, so that's like the last version of it that one of the latest versions. Like only 6 months ago that thing came out. At least the one I bought. So by the way, I received it back.
Oh, you did? Oh, you got it back?
Because for you guys who don't know, we lost I lost my PlayStation. Well, I didn't lose it. The graphics card went bad on it, so I sent it off to Sony and they sent it back. But they didn't send me back mine. They sent me back a refurbished one.
Hey, there
the
you go.
serial number was different.
Yeah. All right, and believe it or not, hold on. Kisha goes, why did Manny get a PS5 bundle?
Oh,
you're muted.
I got a PS5 bundle because it was the only way that you could get a Slim. At GameStop, you pre-ordered it, you only get it with a game. And if you I forgot, I think on Sony's site they did it with Spider-Man. So there's 2 bundles, but I couldn't get the Spider-Man bundle. So, yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah. You take what you get, man. Remember, I was trying to get the one without the disc tray, but there wasn't available, so I just got the regular one. And in the end, I was kind of glad I did because now I get to watch all these Blu-rays.
They also didn't allow me to pre-order the damn thing. Oh, yeah, we're getting close. We got 15 minutes.
Oh, it's good because we only got one more topic. See, we did get the unless somebody else comes up with something. But again, we're almost done, man. This week was dead. Real quick here. Kishak goes, I think the game The Tourist is 8K on PS5, but the graphics are really simple. Not surprised. And the last thing I want to talk about, this isn't a gaming news thing per se, but it's a conversation I was happening over the weekend that I want to kind of touch on. And it involves our favorite kind of people in the industry, insiders.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not going to name any names, but a certain insider got into a lot of heat this weekend for saying something that was just not true, and then kind of related to that, this other reporter called Liam Robinson, who generally does some good stuff. There's some stuff I don't like about him, but he talks about anime sometimes about it like that. But he says that he made the accusation that certain insiders are effectively running interference for Microsoft and have basically regurgitated what he said, fabricated lies by the company. Either lie, not only that, and this is where I'm throwing in this, not only some certain lies that Microsoft has said, but they will make up shit to make the company look good, and this is what he says right here, related to that. Actually, I'll read both his tweets. He goes, something that has become apparent to me as I've been talking to developers from Toys for Bob and other former Activision people is that there absolutely are journalists running interference from Microsoft and have regurgitated blatant falsehoods on their behalf. By the way, I'm not talking about real journalists. Take that with a grain of salt. At places like IGN or Kotaku or newspapers, I am more referring to enthusiast sites and a certain YouTuber who uncritically spread absolute bullshit for them while people were getting laid off and projects canceled. I don't know who the YouTuber is in question. I honestly don't know who it could be. Because I know there was another guy who is a writer, who's an actual journalist, so he's getting heat, who calls himself an insider. You guys know what I'm talking about. But the YouTuber in question, I'm not sure who he's talking about, but I could believe this, especially on the influencer end. Again, because these guys aren't held to any standards. Yes, I realize that nowadays journalists kind of aren't really, they're not beholding themselves to standards, but if you were to find out a journalist was getting paid under the table, they would be fired. Like, there wouldn't be any, they would be fired. Meanwhile, with a YouTuber, it's like, oh, okay, it's a YouTuber. You know, that's what happens, you know? I know foolish people I know. He goes, Kotaku and real journalists in the same sentence is really funny. I know, bro. I know. So, yeah, this is something we've been talking about for a while, where basically these influencers, and I know I'm lumping in insiders and influencers together, but they're kind of the same thing in a way, you know. And I'll say this, you know, I will say, oh shit, I didn't realize Liam Robinson followed me. Cool. I will say this, we got to talk about our boy Jeff Grubb real quick, bro. We got to talk about no, man, you muted. You're still muted.
I said, we talking about Grubby?
Yeah. We got to talk, because remember, last week, okay, so before that, my man was like, oh, there's going to be a PlayStation event at the end of May, right? End of May. And on May 28th, like, yo, Grubby, where's it at, bro? My man was sweating, you know? And he was already kind of saying, oh, remember, guys, you know, this is just what my insider told me. I may be wrong. And then, the state of play drops. You know, he was probably, like, wiping his fucking forehead,
like,
you know? Ooh. You know, but still, I just find it ironic that now there's another rumor that, you know, he put out. I'm like, guys, we're going to go through this again? Listen, no disrespect to Jeff Grubb. He's doing his thing. But if someone has a bad track record, why are you still listening to him? What are we doing?
I don't know. It's like people are thirsty for info. They'll just take anything.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Grubb said it. You mean the motherfucker that was wrong last 9 times in a row?
But this time he's got it. He knows. He got the emails.
It's not like fucking, okay, Mark Gurman, right? He's like an Apple tipster, right? My man has like a fucking great batting average. He's not right all the time, but he's like 80% right. You know, that's a good track record. Grubby, on the other hand, it's like the reverse. 90% wrong. So it's like, come on, man. Yeah, Chris, what's your take on this bullshit, man? I know I'm getting a little heated right now, but it's like, come on, guys. Stop listening to insiders.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. You have to take everything with insiders with a grain of salt. I think the problem is when insiders kind of scratch that itch, like people already have a preconceived notion of like, oh, we're due for this or we're due for that. And they start thinking like, they start hyping themselves up. And then somebody like Jeff Grubb comes along and goes, oh, my sources say blah, blah. And yes, it's happening. You know, these guys get excited. But if you get that hyped up over speculative rumors and stuff, all you're going to do is get super disappointed and pissed off when it doesn't come to fruition. And that's what happens with these guys over and over. You get big mad, start yelling or whatever on Twitter. And it's like, what did you expect? Like, nobody confirmed this. Like, you're hearing this shit, like secondhand rumors from sources say, and it's like, come on now.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Kishak goes, I thought this was about the Nintendo leaks originated from a Google employee accessing private videos on Nintendo's YouTube channel. Chris, have you heard about that?
Oh, no, I have not heard that.
I don't really. I think I saw the guys on Discord talking about, but I'll be completely honest. You know me, I'm real with our listeners. Anything you guys post about Nintendo in the Discord, I kind of just scroll through it. I don't care about Nintendo. So what happened? So somebody, like a Google employee, posted private Nintendo videos. That's not good.
Yeah,
Nintendo's enough.
Yeah, somebody internally is going to get in big trouble. Like that's because it's probably someone from PR or the online team puts up stuff but private it, right?
Yeah.
But it's Google. Like you're trusting them to keep it private, and then YouTube employees can access that shit in 2 seconds. So if they think, oh, this shit is juicy, or let me take it and re-upload it.
Wow. So check this out. So apparently, that's why the fans are the best, man. Keeping me updated here, even though I don't read the Nintendo posts. Blitz, you go hard with the Nintendo posts. I'm like, whatever, scroll. So apparently they did this with the State of Play. There was a bunch of State of Play leaks that happened, and it was because of this employee looking at the video and posting shit.
Yeah. See, so they try to. I'm guessing the PR guys, even for Sony or whatever, they try to prep stuff, right, to launch and schedule it to launch after the announcement, so you don't have to upload it right then, right? So they're prepping stuff the day before, a few days before, and then somebody Google can access them. Shit isn't really private. No, not to them. They have admin access.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't that something? So you got to watch out for that now. Crazy. The things people will do for clout, man. I swear. Remember that one guy who like outed himself when he was like he had his like insider account talking to his main account, and he was like, "Oh, you're doing a good job with all these leaks." No, you're breaking embargo, bro. They were selling the info for 3 figures. What the fuck?
Whoa! Oh man!
Wow!
Lawyer's gonna get involved now.
That's crazy.
That's bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. Google's obviously a way bigger company than Nintendo, but this is still Nintendo.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with them. That's crazy. All right, man. That's all we got. Again, short week because I imagine everybody. Here's the thing. I know. When I was scrolling through Discord, I know there was a lot of littler news talk about like, oh, this game may get announced, this game may get announced, this game may get announced. But we're not here to talk about that stuff. We'll talk about the games when they actually are announced. So here's what's going to happen. Okay, Sunday, we're going to be doing our live stream of the Xbox showcase. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So we're going to do that in the afternoon. Our homie, Mr. David Gilton, and he will be joining us. And then that night, we're going to do throw down your questions. So throw down your questions is going to be like combining 2 things. We're going to take questions not only about the Xbox showcase, but also Summer Game Fest that's happening tomorrow. And I'm still on the fence because I didn't realize Summer Game Fest was tomorrow, whether we should live stream that or not, because I'll be home. That's at 5 p.m. So we'll see what happens. What happened, man? You're muted. You're still muted, sir. Like the little icon is there.
Oh yeah, we can do it. I mean, like I'm at the that's we complete our day at least around that time. So
yeah, I mean, here's the showcase. The Summer Game Fest is probably gonna be horse shit, but I'm like, I'm off tomorrow, and even if I was like working tomorrow, it's not 5. That's the end of my day. I could have theoretically done it. So let's put a pin on it. Let's say we will do it with an asterisk. If we don't do it, don't hold it against us. But definitely we're on lock for Sunday. 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do our Xbox Live showcase / Call of Duty impressions. And then at night, throw any questions, ask us questions about Summer Game Fest and the Xbox and Call of Duty. And all the things that will be shown, man. It's going to be very, very interesting. Xbox Showcase 2 hours. Yep. So it'll be a nice long stream.
Slight insert here. Did you see that article, that thing that's an article about how much it costs to buy time on Summer Games Fest?
Yes, absolutely insane.
Those numbers are fairly close to getting a booth at E3.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I'm going to read this. By the way, shout out to Wario64, man. Running a trailer during Summer Game Fest main show this year cost $250,000 for 1 minute, $350,000 for a minute and a half, $450,000 for 2 minutes, and $550,000 for 2.5 minutes. That's insane. Jeff Keighley, right? Or only all for the players, all for the money. You know.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. If you're buying time on his show, so that's pretty much what it is. But it's like, yeah, that's fairly close to what folks were playing, what studios were playing for E3.
Yeah, pretty much. So you're gonna see a lot of minute-long videos.
Yeah, like Alicia, from an article that I found about years ago, made in like 2012, which is it's quite a while ago, but it was an Engadget article, and it says it's between 300,000 to 500,000 for a booth.
Same rates, yeah. Probably,
So.
yeah. All right, since we have 3 minutes left on this call here, we're gonna end the show, man. And we're done anyway. So make sure you check out the Coalition. There's a lot of stuff coming. Richard Bailey Jr. is gonna be he's our man on the scene, as it were. He's in LA right now doing his thing. So we'll keep us updated and all the good stuff. Hopefully he'll be here with us on Sunday to give us the full wrap up. But if not, we'll definitely have him back on Thursday. But other than that, make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. We're back on YouTube again, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our videos go live every Thursday and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And obviously, other random things we may stream. We are on every podcast app on the planet. Throwdown Show. That's 2 words. Throwdown Show. And throwdownshow.com for listen to past episodes. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight was run by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
And Brian Majoma.
Cannot wait to see what games will be delayed next week.
You already know, man. All right, guys, we'll see you on Sunday. Remember, 1 p.m. Eastern, man. Xbox game, and maybe Friday. We'll see. But we'll definitely be back on Sunday. Later.
Laters.